Good morning, everybody. We're coming in hot and fast and a little late. Had to make breakfast this morning and it ran a little long. Uh, but we are getting started again. We did swap back to the kind of crossbows that aren't going to result in some severe friendly fire casualties. I really liked the idea of using the Eagle's Cross, but it was just too dangerous. We did make it home. We do have some equipment to drop off. And I think we've already turned in the science. At this point, we just need everyone to heal up. We'll probably hit Squin. When I went to when I went to make the houses for everyone, I haven't gotten around to finishing them off. We've got individual houses for everyone, but they haven't been furnished. I just haven't had the time yet off stream to finish that. But that gives me like a side project to do while we're grinding out chainmail off stream. Right now we're still sitting with the stolen chain shirts and chainmail, but the rest of our armor is masterwork. We did opt for the plated boots, despite the sandals probably being better, just because they look cool, and that's a good enough reason. We'll take that. So now for research, we can get our outposts. We don't need an automatic loom for cotton, so we may not bother with that until the very end. Electrics, we're going to need a ton of books just to be able to get that. Again, a lot of these we don't necessarily need. These are just books and collecting the appropriate piece or science books for hydroponics. Industry, the automated hybrid mine 2 is pretty cool. The fully automatic ore drill is something that I'd like to get another science book for. But we're about there. We're about there. A lot of these we don't necessarily need. The engineering research, we may as well get the outpost type. But again, I'll do that research and the crafting off stream. I'll flesh out the individual homes. I kind of walked through what we're doing with them. We're basically just putting a living space, a kitchen, putting the dining area upstairs. We can enjoy the fresh air. Out here in the Shek territory on the borderlands, it's always a little windy. Not too bad, though. Looks like it's always dust storming, and I just don't really see that because some of the mods I have for optimization, so might have to rethink dining outside. It looks like we've got trouble at the gate, so let's go deal with that, and then we'll head to Squin to patch ourselves up. Take everybody off ranged. Put everyone on taunt. It looks like we've got Dust Bandits versus the Hungry Bandits. They weren't even really trying to get in yet. They're too busy squabbling. I don't like seeing them get in the gate. It's always annoying trying to get rid of them after that. We've got everybody. We'll go ahead and close the gate. We did have the spider foreman, and we tried to see, because sometimes when you stick prisoners in a cage like the Phoenix, you can talk to them and get a little bit of dialogue. He had absolutely nothing to say, so we just finished him off, stored his May 2 weapon, and moved on. Right now we've got a little bit of food. We're definitely going to do some farming. Sorry, excuse me, some hunting while we're out and about. Because I hate loading up with a ton of food and then it feels like it was for nothing. We'll end up eating it maybe. You know, it's one way or the other. We end up starving or we end up not needing it. But today we're just going to hit Squin because they have so many beds ready to go. And I'm going to prioritize getting at least the beds put into the houses first. That way I have a place for everyone to go and rest. And we're just going to get everybody rested up. I was going to do this before stream so that we could get straight into it, but like I said, the morning's running a little long, and it is what it is. We'll get going very quickly. It doesn't take long when you're running on triple speed to get everyone patched up. A lot of them aren't injured as bad as the others, and they're all at least patched up, so it just won't take long. In the meantime, I'll go over some of the equipment changes we did. We tried the Eagles Cross, and frankly, they were phenomenal. And most of the time, it wasn't a problem. Most of the time, it was just us absolutely annihilating our enemies with zero repercussions or problems. But we did run into instances where people were getting severely injured by friendly fire. So while it was rare, it was severe every time it happened. So we moved away from those. We're back to our Old World Mark IIs. We haven't upgraded them all to Masterwork. If we get our toughness up and it still feels like we're not ready to use Eagles Crosses, even at 60, 70 toughness, we're probably going to just give up on that, and at least for, a certain amount of time, and go back to just using the Old World Mark IIs. Hot Longs, you're almost fully healed. Spade is healed. Shrike. Enu. Benji, you're good. And we don't necessarily need to wait till everyone's in perfect condition. We just want to get them up to like 70, 80, somewhere close to that. Just so we can roam around the world without worrying about getting any severe damage. We do have the ability to make chainmail now, and we are making specialist grade chainmail, so that is another thing I'll be able to get going. We do have Edge 2 katanas ready to swap in. That's another thing I wanted to get done this morning that we'll do off camera, but our armor is looking nice. Sharp, all masterwork. We're darn near immune to turret damage, except for the fact that our toughness isn't high enough. So if you don't know how toughness works, people like Soto that are at 61 toughness, they're taking 14% less damage. But anyone who's under 50 is actually taking more damage. So at 48 toughness, we're taking 1% more than what we should be. So we were looking at Scratch. His toughness was at 48. He's at 2%. I guess it's about, how far into 48 you are as well. But we're tired of taking that extra damage. Once we can get some actual damage reduction on everyone, that's when we're going to be able to use those really powerful crossbows. Alright, looks like we've got everybody relatively healed up enough to move out. I don't know why these guys are hanging out outside the city. Your jobs aren't on, are they? They're not, so knock it off. What are you doing? I guess they're going to try to get food. Yeah, they're going to get food. How do they plan on doing that? The gate's closed. The gate is not closed. The gate is just hanging open. Oh boy. Okay, we'll bring everybody in, grab some fresh grub. Do you guys not have food on you? You don't. Okay. We can fix that. I thought we gave everyone some grub, but it looks like we were just recovering after that fight. So I did take a fight with some hungry bandits that cleared out all our food, and we had to do some hunting pretty quick. I don't want to do any more fights till we're dropped. That was pretty boring and unfun. And frankly, it just didn't give me the kind of return on time investment I would hope for in a group. I think it matters if you're outnumbered. I didn't see anything kind of perusing the wiki, but it does seem to matter if you're wildly outnumbered. So if we go as a squad, we get way less training out of it. So with us getting less for being in a group, I'd rather just go take some real fights, do some adventuring, get it kind of the natural way. It's a little slower progression, maybe, depending on how the fights go, but I'd just rather do that than, oh, you guys are in the wrong place at the right time. What do you have for stats? Garbage. You are about to get smacked down. What? Go get him. But these are the fights we're looking for. They're not going to have anywhere to take us to enslave us, so we're going to look for people who are in the 30s, 40s that can actually give us a fight. And take them on in melee. Let's make sure we attack all. I want everybody to get in there. It is good to see it. The Holy Nation is just reduced to a bunch of wandering guys starting trouble for no reason. They have no hope of rebuilding. They're not going to be able to shut down and kill all of us. Most of us are Shek as it is. I think that's all we have is humans in Shek. We don't really have any hivers, but the Holy Nation would have enslaved or killed way over half our crew. It's funny when you go to do recruits normally, most of the people you can recruit are female. Most of the males are already guards and stuff like that. It just happens to be that the largest number of people I find to recruit in the areas around the border zone, they tend to be females from the Holy Nation or female Shek. Female Shek are incredibly common as recruiters. So if we want a real challenge, let's go see if Rebirth is still torn up. We can also check, we did notice the Holy Mines and Narcos Traps still had Paladins there. Not the mines, but Narcos Traps specifically. But I wonder, it looks like the mines went green. I bet the farms are too. But I wonder what's going on at Rebirth. So between Rebirth, the Foglands, because the Fog guys aren't really going to be able to eat us. We'll be able to get out of those before it goes south. I'm not convinced that we could go down to where the peeler machine robots are and take them on. Their stats are like all in the 50s, and they're all robots. They've got like 200 health on everything. We do way less damage to them in melee, like way less. 39% less damage. Our melee weapons are almost useless against them. That's one of the only real downsides to using the katanas. And this has definitely made me think about trying some other sidearms, but those are all just blunt weapons. So I don't know if that's really what we want to do. Because while these are less effective against robots, our crossbows aren't. and they're more effective against humans. So against humans, we get a little bit more damage. But anybody in armor, anybody that's a robot, the katanas are actually terrible. The only downside is it's what we've been using the whole time. So everybody's katana skill is up pretty high, whereas all the rest are very low. And the only other sidearms are like the mercenary club, the spike club, the small jeet, or jitty, or however you say that. I have no idea. So this says it's still held by the Holy Nation. All I see are animals, but the people could be inside. Oh, it disappeared for a second. But we'll check out Rebirth and maybe look for some more dangerous enemies out here. Maybe we can go to Bast and start some trouble. I also think we should start testing ourselves against the slave farms. See if we're able to take those out. The only risk there is if it starts to go south, we'll end up getting enslaved, and they're going to take our boots, they're going to take our weapons, and it's going to be this whole hassle of re-equipping ourselves. I made a little bit extra of everything, but not literally everything, and maybe not in the right numbers, so we don't want to have anyone actually get enslaved or kidnapped. Yes, we're actually heading to Rebirth. Come on now, guys. Oh, wow. What is this? Lots of ninjas. They've taken over. It's done. Rebirth is done for. Wow. Lots of ninja patrolling it. Never mind what we did. We got rid of Rebirth. Alright. So then I guess the question is, where do we look for some serious enemies without getting eaten? I think we're looking at either the Deadlands, which is still going to be a little dangerous, or maybe checking out Venge, some of these old towers. I bet it's all going to be robots, but at least these robots aren't going to try and peel us, and they aren't going to try and eat us. So we'll go exploring there. We know that they also may have some of the science we're looking for, with these being the old towers and things like that. Where are we in respect to our base? The next time we have to head back, I'm going to grab all of those maps we've picked up, and we'll start exploring those as well. You know, we do have to go here eventually. So we'll pick up the Iron Trail after we explore Venge and check these old towers. Guys, what's going on here? You can do it. Let's go. It is crazy going around the map and just seeing every Holy Nation city just completely wrecked. Except Narco's Trap. I thought it was interesting that that was still held by the Holy Nation. And I wonder about Okran's Shield and Okran's Fist. I wonder if those will be last little holdouts that we would have to clear out. It's weird seeing Krau's Chosen running around here. Strayed Paladins again, huh? We'll fight you guys, why not? these guys we wildly outnumber. They're not going to stand much of a chance or pose much of a threat to us. It's always awesome seeing us just absolutely mow down people who used to be considered really dangerous. So who's got our lowest toughness? That's how we'll see if we're really making progress. Obviously not hot longs. So 45 at spade. We're coming up. But so far 45 at spade is our lowest. Yep, so let's keep an eye on spade at 45. And try to keep track of if we're really gaining toughness going out and looking for trouble like this. You guys are standing up again, I guess? We definitely don't want to use our crossbows if we're trying to get into combat. That'll raise our toughness stat because we'll take out half of them before they even get to us. And the whole idea is to get into a melee fight and take damage. There's a full-on Holy Nation caravan? That's crazy. They've got loot. Hello. We'll take all of your food. Absolutely. Where are you, Scratch? You don't have a ton of room. Peace to you? No? Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. Get back here. We were looting you. Oh, out of trading range, okay. So I didn't think about it, but if we see these stray paladin caravans, we can actually take them out for some good loot, grab some food while we're at it. I didn't expect to see so many wandering paladins. I thought they'd be a lot more rare because we haven't seen them lately, but we also haven't been going through the Holy Nation lands, or what used to be the Holy Nation lands, much lately. I'm betting you these bulls are going to give us a lot. Well, no, but we'll see. They're doing some damage, I bet. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. But we're not going to waste the food. We're going to be out fighting for a while. Where is it? Soto, you were on foraging animals. Who's got the most room? anytime we go out and we do hunting like that, we normally don't look to animals to find trouble, but if we do, we use it to get food. And I get so tired of running out of food when on campaign, so I'm happy to grab some food right now. Early on in the expedition, make sure we stay equipped with lots of food. Although it does seem like that's going to be way less of a concern this time. We actually brought a decent amount of food with us. And this whole setting someone up as a forager as their job and then laying out multiple campfires is probably the best thing ever. I really like getting the food doled out, cooked up this way. Now we gotta look to squad 2. So don't move. Being annoying. Alright, now we got plenty of food. We can continue to sham. It is probably worth considering that hunting food for us is so easy now. There's no point in trying to build up a huge food store anymore. Who are these guys? 100 Guardian. Let's see what they have to say. Hotlong, go talk to them. I could use some extra swords. I need reinforcement at my outpost. We can have them reinforce our outpost. That'd be great. Battleborn. You know Hotlong's as a Shek who's never had her horns cut. To be the person, along with everyone else obviously, but be a part of the squad that not only took out the Phoenix, but also took out the Bugmaster, has to be like the most amount of pride a Shek warrior could possibly have. And then we run into these guys who are Kral's chosen. And I guess they just look at us as the new Bugmaster from what I've seen. Them and the Berserkers think we're the ones that will take him to Gateway, which is their heaven. They think now they have to fight us, and it's like, no, you don't have to go look for fake enemies. Kenshi's still full of real ones. You can go throw yourselves at the United Cities forever in that meat grinder if you wanted to. So see, there's a ton of bulls here, but we have so much food that I don't want to go killing these guys for no reason. They don't give us good enough stats to warrant it. And I just don't like to kill the animals without using them for food. Whether that's stupidly sentimental in a video game or not, I try to like play from a perspective of some kind anytime I play this game, because it gives you motivations and goals, which helps you go, well, avoid going, well, what do I do now? Like for us, we want to finish the science tree, but we also hate slavers. We've kind of killed slavers anytime we ran into them, but because we dealt with the Holy Nation and haven't really ventured into the United Cities area very much, we haven't ran into a ton of slavers. So as we start to encounter them and realize that side of the world is just filled with slavery, hot longs and soda aren't really going to be okay with that. They don't even like the Czech culture of cutting the horns and making them into a servant. They think that when you're defeated in battle, you're supposed to get up and go back in, not spend your days sulking and whining about how you lost the fight. And especially after her experience with Beep's squad, where everyone but her and Soto died, she really just doesn't agree that if you it's not a sin to be just too damn tough for your enemy to kill you, even when they're able to defeat you. It just means that you're not really defeated yet, and that you'll be back. Well, we're here, and there's an outpost on the edge, guarded by what looks like some spiders. Are you hostile? Looks like these ones are inert. They'll show up as red when they're not. Let's send in just hot longs. Oh, she's going around the front. Okay. Let's at least have everyone ready to back her up. Oh yeah, lots of spiders. Come out here. These guys are the guys that are going to give us a hellacious fight. And we'll put it on attack all. These guys are going to put a hurt on us. I mean, maybe not as much as I thought. We're getting stronger every day. Shouldn't be underestimating us, I guess. But these things getting back up is going to be annoying. Let's get them looted, guys. It doesn't really seem to matter what piece you take, as long as you take something out of their inventory. It's kind of like animals. But they end up getting buried inside the ball of us attacking them. Are they all dead? Okay, they're all dead. We'll have hot longs check to see if there's any more. Yep, there's more. And we don't really necessarily need anything off of them. This is just another armory from the looks of it, but we'll at least check for some ancient science books. We might get lucky. Early game, which who would come here early game? I don't know. You'd just be risking it so much just to come here. Maybe lose 2 or 3 limbs and not make it out alive. But early game, you can find some good armor and weapons here. Ooh, a specialist grade black and chain shirt. We can give that to Soto, maybe. Oh, she's got masterwork. Wish, what do you got? Yeah, we'll give it to Wish. Not to play favorites, we're all going to end up with extremely good chainmail someday. It's just to give it to somebody. Put it to use for now while it's viable. Could have gotten some chainmail. Yeah, these are always kind of a big disappointment for us because we focused on getting really good equipment early on. There's never anything fancy in these armories. But it was worth checking. And we did take some beat down. Mew got knocked down to 54. We do also know that there's an army of robot spiders up on the Forbidden Isle. If we wanted to go back there were so many. Hungry bandits, we'll go ahead and get rid of you. Nobody likes you. Attack all. Go check out this old control tower. We can help out the nomads. Honglong and Soto are pretty honorable swords. The whole team really doesn't want to see someone like the nomads who've been nothing but helpful get ravaged by beak things. We'll see if we can help them. Looks like they've got the ability to patch themselves up. We'll just make sure. Make sure those beak things don't get up to mess with them again. We're not going to sit here and play Guardian for them, but we'll get them out of a tight spot. Depending on the enemies we run into, we might go back to using our crossbows just because I don't want to end up in a desperate bid for survival here. I'm just trying to get some science and level up our stats some. Although a desperate bid for survival could be just what we need to get a jump start. I just don't like risking the team. I thought we were going to be darn near invincible, and the worst that would happen when we went after the Bugmaster with the first crew was that we'd lose some limbs and people would get pretty injured. When it was so much worse than that, I was like, we should be more careful with our people. Alright, so far it's been a bunch of weak thralls. Let's see what's in here. More weak thralls from the looks of it. Oh, looks like there's some coming from upstairs. Without the UI, we don't get a great idea of how the fight's going other than watching us stand and the enemies drop, but it definitely makes for a more cinematic view. Everybody seems to be doing just fine, though. Let's see what's further upstairs. Looks like there are a lot stronger guys up here. Screamer the False, who's got a Holy Nation and United Cities bounty. I think we want to try and take this without opting to use our crossbows. It is a little crowded in here, though. I'm worried people are going to get stuck. Ooh, that stung. He's worried we're gonna get our fluids all over his lab. Bombingham, pick up Ponk, and disarm him. So now we've got a Meitu hold saber. And this guy looks like he has a heavy pole arm that we can take. We really don't do diddly squat to him when we're hitting him with our katanas. Speed this up a little. This is the kind of fight we wanted to let them take, though, with him being that skilled. Hot Longs, go ahead and pick him up. Make sure he's disarmed. And then let's get everybody outside and on hold. We don't want to be getting bounced all over the place. There we go. Ancient science books. That is what we are after. AI core as well. Fantastic. I don't even know if we need any more of those. But that does tell me we need to check every last container. Oh yeah. Beautiful. You love to see it. AI cores. Got some ancient science books. Lots of robot repair kits. There's electrical containers over here. Just don't want to skip anything. Agnew. We can't even talk to him, though. We don't have room in our squad. He would be so cool to have. But the coolest thing about him is his strength score, and it's not even high by our standards. It would have been cool to have another robot on our team after we lost all of our robots, but we just don't have room. We've got a full squad. All of this money style loot just isn't something we need. We're here for the science stuff. We're not going to bother with anything that's just money loot. We are going to take a Masterwork KLR, though, for sure. All the science books. This ended up being incredibly the right choice. We got a couple of people we could turn in if we wanted to. Some Masterwork limbs in case anyone gets injured. Several AI cores. Push some of our food over to Spade. No, still can't stack AI cores. Okay. And that looks like that's it. But that was an incredible haul. I love it. Now the question is, who's got the other robot? I know Hot Longs, you have one. Who else has a prisoner? Bommingham. We're gonna have you put him down and have Soto grab him. One of the squad leaders carry him so I can keep track of it. So they've got... Oh, let's actually do repairs on them. That'd be good, right? So 20,000 in the United Cities. And another 20,000 in the United Cities. So we could go turn them in if we really wanted to. I don't necessarily need the money though, and I don't want the rep with the United Cities. Maybe that's how storytelling wise we can justify they see all of this slavery and decide that it's time to do something about it. Yeah, I think that's good. We learn about the United Cities and want to go turn in more bounties. After a few times turning in bounties, they get tired of seeing people carted around like slaves and, well, as slaves, chained up or worse. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I don't think this old tower is going to have anything for us, is it? Nope. I wish there was a little more consistency to the lasers so we could make use of them. It would be pretty cool to be able to just make use of the lasers as a defense mechanism since we're pretty much immune to them. Wonder what we're gonna deal with here. Looks like a dump. There are people here though. Oh, scavenger leaders here. Okay. Gutterhead. These guys are not that tough though. They're not gonna pose much trouble for us. Here's who we want to keep an eye on. We'll just have Wish grab him. A basket hat. A mercenary club. Guys, stay here. Let them come to you. Oh, I see. There's a guy up here using his crossbow. Scratch is stuck. let's take care of this. We're over it. We're over it. Apparently the terrain in here is so garbage that it's hard to even navigate. Yeah, there's not going to be anything useful here, but we'll double check. Okay. Well, more bounties we can turn in. Wish you've got him. Let's get some first aid on him. Go ahead and disarm him just in case. Now, what is his bounty? It said he had a bounty, but now I don't know who it's for. Maybe it's not. Maybe he doesn't have a bounty. Oh, United Cities. Okay. I don't know why it replaces that with kidnapped. I'd need to know the bounty. I don't think Brink is United Cities, but we can find out. I think they're tech hunters, but they could be part of the United Cities as well. I know Black Scratch is tech hunters and Flats Lagoon is tech hunters. United Cities, okay. Is there a police shop? There is. Perfect. But oddly enough, there isn't a slave shop here. But we've already seen slavery from one of the other bounties we had when we turned in the Reaver's Lord, Valmont. Yeah, take him. What? Oh, Soto. Take him. Take him. Now I wonder, with the United Cities, are we getting... We're like maybe getting a little reputation with them, but that's not harmful to us. What do we have here? Grass pirates? Nah. Let's head to the unwanted zone. There's not really much for us in the crags. We could hit Gut and the Howler Maze and start seeing how we do there. Pick up some food. Yeah, let's head to Gut. See if the beak things there can give us a little bit of a challenge if we're not using crossbows. Preferably we want enemies that aren't going to try and eat us, but considering how much better than beak things we are, it might be okay. does seem like we kind of just run through them. They're doing some damage, but nothing actually scary. Maybe that's a good thing, though. Everybody is having to get bandaged up. Spade. Your toughness is at 46. So it's coming up, slowly but surely. If we needed money, it'd be great to hunt out here. We're still doing pretty good on food, though. But beak things are more of a pest since they attack on sight. They're not something we have to feel bad about killing and leaving here. We don't need to butcher every single one of these things. But imagine trying to fight basically a giant muscular giraffe with a hardened shell on its back and a giant piercing beak. Like, look at that thing. Trying to fight something like this would be obscene. Get out of the water. You guys are stupid. Get out of the water. No, nobody's going into the water. Everybody back. Even without the UI, I can still kind of control them. We are not going into the water to stand there and get hit by beak things. That's stupid. No, everybody over here. Okay, now that they're out of the water, you can go fight them. Not only trying to fight these things, but imagine if you're doing what they're doing, fighting it with a sword. The katana probably wouldn't even do anything to them in real life. You'd just be sitting there cutting into their thick hide, bending and breaking your katana over and over. We're not really taking any meaningful damage, though. We're just so tanky. Maybe the heavy armor is part of the problem, but Frankie swears by using heavy armor. I think it's just not being outnumbered reduces the amount of toughness we get. I do know talking smack to different enemies, like through the dialogue options, when they're like, bandits are like, hand over your money, or guards requesting a bribe. When you tell them to pack sand, apparently that increases your toughness too, according to the wiki. I haven't verified it, but that'd be pretty cool. So sometimes it'll look like there's a big drop in FPS because the screen will get shaky, but it's really just the character we're focused on is getting vibrated so hard by everybody's body colliding. So I'm just trying to, if I just move the camera a little bit, it'll stop. So here we've got a slave farm, and we have a decision to make, because we can start right now fighting them and starting a war with the United Cities, but there's every chance that Igor is going to show up to our base with a colossal army. So I don't know if we necessarily want to do that yet. We may not be ready for it. Although we can fight these guys in smaller skirmishes, we'll probably want to do that one right after the other. We may not want to do that yet. We'll have to think about it. Why are you guys going through here? Could have ran around it a lot easier. Who are these guys? Oh, Garu, if they want to attack us because we kept moving, they're welcome to try. We can always use more food. Who are these guys? Samurai. The other thing is, we're also incredibly wealthy by Kenshi standards, so even if you split it over 30 people, we've all got over 30,000 cats on us. Or over 10,000 cats. Gosh, gotta do some math. The skimmers are, well, they're relatively high attack and defense. We can take them out as we see them. Doesn't look like there's actually a land bridge across this thing. Oh boy, it's gonna be painful trying to get across here though. That Kenshi pathing, man. Come on, just get up here and we'll call it even. Stubbs, Wish, undork yourselves, please. Come on. Stubbs, come on. Thank you. So apparently Howler's Maze, we're going to be able to get a lot of skill ups, like get better attack and defense from fighting the crabs. There's also going to be obviously plenty of meat here for us to grab if we start to get hungry. But the crabs are hostile, so we are going to be able to get into plenty of fights, but it just, we might get to do our attack and defense. Like Spade, we'll just watch you. Your defense, your toughness has gone up to 47, so running around and getting into these melee fights is helping. Leaving the crossbows off to the side is good. So we're at 47 and then 50, 56. And we just want to see, you know, if we patrol around here, how much progress we can really get. Oh boy, there is a massive mega crab here we could check out. He doesn't look tough enough to make a difference, though. We'll take on a mega crab, why not? How hard is he hitting, though? 38? Okay, yeah, if we didn't have armor, that would be devastating. That'd be somebody's limb or dead. But since we do, it's not that scary. Ooh, we are taking some damage, though. Look at Moo. We'll speed it up a little. This could take a second. us having to fight him basically 1v1. We got some ganglions. We'll sell those for money, take them as a trophy type deal. Hot longs, what's in here? Pork and nothing. There's some crabs in here. Okay, so I think that's all that was really over here was the big old crab. Nothing to write home about, huh? Let's go ahead and do a save, because I've had the game crash out here a lot before. Just in case. Now this is a big open area I wouldn't mind building a base in too, especially since you're right on the water. You could make people swim a pretty good distance just to even get through your gate. Like especially a really defensible base for when you're starting wars with people, it could be pretty cool. Oh yeah, fertility, stone. Not a lot of copper, but there's iron. Are there any crab nests over here? Any crabbers? Looks like we're looking for crabs in all the wrong places. I guess for a solo character this could be a place to train, but there's not enough crabs for us all to train off of. We're hardly even getting a fight out of this. What is a crab egg worth? Oh, not that much. How are we doing on food? Scratched still has a ton of food, and so does Peace. But again, any of the animals that attack us on sight, we're not really going to feel bad about taking them out. They're just pests at that point. Yeah, I'm not sure this is the place to be. We're going to need to find some bigger trouble than this to really test ourselves. I think we could risk the cannibal cages too. The peeler machine, it's like ripping your arms off, and those robots are so deadly. I don't think we want to go there just to try and test ourselves. We also have a bunch of science on hand that we could take home. That's something to consider. Ooh, where did that location get added? I hate that. I meant to... Okay, so we've got a bunch of stuff up north to check out. Let's go check out Cannibal Country. That'll at least give us a ton of enemies to choose from. I don't want to be wandering around looking for enemies. Maybe we should have just captured the Southern Hive Queen and held on to her. Get them to give us an endless wave of enemies coming to our base. And if it ever became too much, we just throw her in the peeler. What are these guys? Outlaw farmers? Well, they're gonna attack us, and they get what they get. They don't have to be bandits. They could have found something else to do, maybe. I mean, we did. Nothing else, leave. Like, it's incredibly easy if you can run at all to just leave the United Cities. If you're already an outlaw and you've got nothing going on here, just leave. Most of them they're almost all human, the outlaw farmers too, so it's like, just leave. Go anywhere else, the Holy Nation, especially now. You know? Go do something useful with yourself. Don't come bothering people. Clearly a fully geared war machine. Maybe don't pick a fight with them. This is going to be our next enemy, though. We've already seen them using slaves, and Soto and Hotlongs are not fans. They're actually going to be, when we take a look, because they're going to scout these guys out. They're wearing pretty similar armor to ours. They're pretty well skilled. They're going to be a great way for us to test ourselves for sure. But we're going to want to make sure that the base's defense is really set up for being attacked by tons of people. We're going to want way more than just the 8 guns on the gate that we have. We're going to want right behind the gate to have an entire setup of harpoon turrets. I think we're going to want to build some more storm houses there, or maybe even just a wall to shoot from, but probably storm houses. Just to give some elevation and another locked door or two that they have to deal with. Or maybe we build a forward operating base out here that's strictly for starting a war with them and having a very defensible position. Because if we look out here, the biggest thing we don't really have access to that we would need, it looks like, is copper. I'd have to look and see if there are any good locations to get copper. And I believe there are, but you've got to look for them. Yeah, see, there's some copper. So it definitely exists. It's just a matter of looking for it. Yeah, we see you. We're not scared of you. Come on, pop out. So Spade was sitting at 45 toughness. Now we're up to 47. Slowly getting that progress. I think that's the trick, is just don't use our crossbows. Get everyone into melee with as many enemies as possible. The beak things did seem to do us some good, so we might also try the unwanted zone and just get into as many fights with beak things as we can, because they hit like the whole squad every time. What are these guys? A bloody foreigner, isn't it? Oh, come on. I'm trying to get a good view of what he's saying. Bone freaks? Bone freaks? What the hell? We didn't spit on nobody. Well, you guys just threw your lives away. Jeez. The Shek can be assholes to other races, but at least they don't go trying to murder people off rip. These guys are tech hunters, huh? Okay, we'll leave them alone. Nothing fancy going on here. We're gonna keep on going to Cannibal Country. Although the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking beak things are the way to go. Because they are doing big AoE damage to a bunch of us. They come in more numbers. Maybe we want to hit the bone fields or the unwanted zone. I just want an army of beak things to deal with. Distant Hive Village, huh? I wonder if these are going to be Western Hive or Old Southern Hive. Looks like Western Hive. There won't be anything of interest to us here then. My blade is ready. I'll give them a merciful death. Not a lot of pity in these hardened fighters. I don't think it's just reactive world. I'm pretty sure you can do this by default. The hungry bandits, you can actually befriend them. If you do it right off the bat, you just give them money or food. I believe you can actually befriend them and just stay friendly with them. There's an outpost out here. It's probably cannibal hunters. Go check it out. I usually spend so much time at war with one of the cities from the border zone, whether I go after the Shek because they won't stop taking my food, or I go after the Holy Nation. I don't get out here too much. What do we have here? Who are these guys? Outlaw farmers? They're not hostile right now, which is kind of strange. Is there anyone here I can talk to? It could be like the crab raiders where they're just enemies out in the field until you talk to somebody. Here's the faction HQ. Boss Simeon. What does he have to say? Ooh, we could join him, which would mean they'd stop attacking us. And they're not slavers, so we could do that. Wow. Go punch a noble or something? So he basically told Hotlongs to piss off. So these guys are just a bunch of lowlifes. They have no intention of doing anything good and actually fighting the United Cities. They just want to act like they're victims and better than them. So we're just going to get rid of these guys. It's pretty obvious their only real intention is to cause trouble and throw a fit. If they don't want us as allies, then we won't be allies. Your boss is a loudmouth piece of shit. You get what you get. Yeah, these guys were never going to defeat the or the United Cities. They were never even going to come close. Where are you at, Simeon? You're in this mess over here. There he is. What do you have on you? An Edge 3 horse chopper, huh? We'll sell that thing. So we'll go ahead and turn that bounty in. I mean, if they don't want to have us as allies, they get what they get. We tried to ally with them, and they basically told us to pack sand, and I don't have to prove myself to a bunch of peasants. They called us spoiled townies, and we're, at this point, legendary warriors. So yeah, we are going to go turn this guy in, just to spite him. We might be honorable, but we're not perfect. Sometimes we can't really tolerate being insulted and threatened like that. Because he didn't just insult us, he did threaten us as well. And even if we were to topple the United Cities, people like him would just become the new ruling class. They wouldn't do anything right to make this place better. They'd just be the next set of assholes exploiting people. Who are these guys? More rebel farmers. We're not going to go out of our way. I thought we were headed to cannibal territory, but maybe it's just Darkfinger and Northern Coast. Maybe Sinkum's just where all the farmers are at. How are we doing on food? I gotta keep an eye on that. We still have a ton of it. I honestly think the best thing we could do is take some serious scraps with the smaller slaver cities. Start taking them out one at a time without our crossbows if we can. Just to see, one, how that goes, but also to get the fighting experience we're looking for. Where's the police here? Go see what's going on in Fast as we head over to the Cannibal Plains. It was weird running into him, trying to join up with him, and he basically just spit on us. Some people just don't know how to run a rebellion, I guess. You don't start by pissing off everybody who offers to help you, that's for damn sure. Guess these guys want to fight. Well, if they're gonna attack us, they can get what they get. So Bast is normally a region where the Holy Nation and the United Cities are just locked in combat all the time. They're patrolling around. Without the Holy Nation to be there, I wonder if they're fighting stray paladins or if this is just pretty empty. Mostly cannibals at this point. Perhaps we will find good battle here. Yep, everybody's got the same idea. So what do we got? There are samurai conscripts fighting outlaw farmers, it looks like. Yeah, we want to get a good challenge. I think just we're at the level where the United Cities could be our next enemy. I think we just kind of need to go for it. Check out Darkfinger and the Cannibal Plains for a little bit, and then we've got enough ammo for sure. But we've got a lot of loot I wouldn't mind dropping off either. So it's kind of a toss-up. I think since we got still plenty of time left in the stream, we should hit at least 1 or 2 slave camps. And then we'll return home to get our science and research going while I'm off stream. It also wouldn't hurt if one of the samurai would try to extort us or threaten us. That would go along to tell the story a little bit better, why we really finally went for it against the United Cities. I mean, look at that. That is a big fighting force. How many do they got? They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide and almost 5 deep, so they're like 25 total. The guy in the lead's kind of tough. Yeah. We could just have a heyday in Bass starting trouble after we take out the slave camps too. It looks like it's just samurai patrolling for the most part, which is interesting. So these are the cannibals we're looking for. They're not very high stat for sure, but they are going to give us a ton of people to fight with. So even if we don't get a lot of toughness training specifically, we will get a lot of attacks in and a lot of random hits from them just because of their numbers. There's something off in the distance there. I want to see what that is. Some kind of city maybe? Or is this another cannibal village? What the hell? It just disappeared. Maybe because we killed those guys? That was trippy. Didn't like that one bit. Says there's a village over here. That's almost certainly going to be cannibals. But let's get ourselves a good cinematic cannibal fight. Pile into him. Yeah, these guys aren't much of a threat. This is more of an extermination effort than anything. maybe we'll find better fights in the actual villages. There are certainly bigger numbers down here, it looks like. I do believe, though, we've already taken the leaders of the cannibals in. Could be wrong, but we'll check. Do I have... No, I don't have Dead Cat on the map, so we haven't. That was probably my solo playthrough. Well, that's another cannibal village taken out. Let's see if there are any more. Wait, where's Double? Double, get in there. There's another big horde of them. We're just gonna speed run some of these just because we're out here for stats. We're trying to just find a good battle, but we don't necessarily need to cinema every super easy fight. There's some ruins out here. We'll check that out, and then a village. This could be a library, maybe. And the old maps aren't actually anything. They're more like a graphic. They're not going to take us anywhere. It's the treasure maps that we need. And those will pretty much always be in a container. But I can't help but kind of hold Alt and look around. Yep, so that'll just give us some locations to check out, which is good stuff to have for sure. It's like we're missing out on the fun over here. We'll bring those guys into these guys. We'll fight them all. Now this is where we're heavily outnumbered and it might get a little interesting at least. There's some wolves, 2 different kinds of cannibals. Still pretty heavy beat down. Crumple John wants a massage. Sorry, man, it's not that kind of party. Is there any loot here? There is something here. Whether or not it can qualify as loot remains to be seen, but... Not stealing by who? What are you talking about? This is silly. Just give me my money. Alright, guys, we're leaving. They seem to be able to detect us stealing from the grave. Yeah, so that was a library. That's why we were able to get so many maps to go check out different science locations. And that could be another thing we do. It's just they're usually spread so far across the map. We'll probably have to click a bunch of them and then pick an area to go to and explore all of the ones we found. But it's an easy way to like end up with areas like over here where we just haven't actually gone and investigated yet. We've got some down here. looks like we did check those at least. But there's a ruin here we haven't messed with, an outpost, a barrier tower that we haven't done. And the Skin House HQ, we went there, but we went there at the very early part of the game when we were using stealth. And just the way some characters are marked, and I think it's just if they don't have diplomatic status, you can just scoop them up out of bed and loot their stuff. So that's how we got the peeler. Oh gosh, why would the nomads live here? That's a terrible plan, dude. You're gonna get eaten. You are not built for this place. Spade, you were at 47 the last time we checked, and you're still there. Yeah, I think the beak things were where we got most of our toughness from, just because everyone was getting slapped. Kind of hoping we can find a force that just wildly outnumbers us. Well, this was a camp. Gotta keep our eyes peeled. Hey, there's something up there. See that? Is that World's End? That's World's End. Okay, that's their science tower. I was thinking for a second we found another lab. And that's gonna be a village. That's not gonna be cannibals. There's some pretty open areas here too where we could build if we wanted. Let's make sure we got everybody. Streak was straggling. How are we doing on food? Peace, you got lots. Scratch, you've got lots. That's what I want to see. Make sure we get these into the backpack to share. Oh, this is an old abandoned village. We were able to loot the water though. That's interesting. But we couldn't build anywhere near here, I bet. Yep, how close could we build? Ooh, that's interesting. So, okay. Having water early on is interesting, but it's still a shit place to start. We'd get murdered. Wonder what's in the hidden forest. I think this is where the Flotsam Ninja have really focused their forces to try and escape rebirth, help people escape rebirth, if I remember right. Yeah, this looks like the Flotsam Ninja area. We're gonna hang out here for a second. I need to take a quick intermission. If you're rewatching after the fact, do a quick fast forward. Sorry about that. Hopefully y'all were able to fast forward through that. I'm going to see if there's a way to edit streams after the fact for intermissions. I'm sure there is. I've seen people do it, but my goodness, had a forced intermission there for a second. So we could try and see if we can ally with the Flotsam Ninjas. I don't know if there's much point since we've taken down most of their enemies, but we can see what they have to say. This is their HQ. Don't get stuck, Molly. There's Mole. Oh, she already knows about us. Gotta take a little credit for doing absolutely nothing. Oh, this bitch is taking credit. We did that alone. Okay, no, that's not fair. We did that with the help of Mother Nature and radiation. Bunch of animals. The Inquisitor is officially out of the Holy Nation. I already took Blister Hill. Oh, you're all jacked up. The game isn't ready for me to come out here after I've already done the deed, huh? Well, bummer. That's kind of what I thought, is if you've already taken out the Holy Nation, there's not much reason to come out here. There's a few plot holes depending on the order you do things in. But hey, now that we've worked our way over to the Cannibal Plains, we're also near a few areas that we revealed from our maps, so we can kill 7 birds with 1 stone. Still doing great on food. We're probably going to have to hunt soon, though. I don't think anyone else... I don't know. There's a few other people that have food, too, but not many. Yeah, we're going to have to do some hunting soon. discovered a building. Oh, a big old big thing nest. Just when I say we need to go hunting. We will go ahead and get the fires up. Gotta eat dinner. Let's start with the ones that can dole out food to multiple people first. Having a few extra fires really made that go faster. I kind of dismantle these just in case we end up fighting animals somewhat nearby. They'll run pretty far to come back to these fires to cook. We don't need the eggs just because we're not after money right now. What's going on up here? Berserkers, huh? Excuse me. Looks like there's a village over here, and let's go check out that building before I forget about it. This looks like a pretty big group of cannibals, at least. Which one's the leader? What do we got to attack to get you guys to take us serious? There we go. Looks like we're gonna jump in on this too. Why not? But I want to hit that building before I forget it's there. And then we'll go check the actual villages. Oh, this is a scout post. Okay. That's probably what all of those are then. Not gonna worry about those. Looks like there's a ton of fighting going on here. What is all this? Just different kinds of cannibals going at it. Just a big mess of people fighting. Let's head up to this village and see what's going on up there. Looks like a lot of people getting eaten. Holy. We'll run into the center of their village. We're not scared. Pile in and cut these dorks up. again going to speed run some of these where they don't even seem to have the numbers to be a threat. Is there anyone here we can set free? Shrieking bandits. Is there anyone who's not a piece of shit we can set free? I'm not gonna bother saving a shrieking bandit, you know? Sorry, but I'm not. Oh, Inu. Oh, we gotta go back for Inu. She's being dumb. Well, being dumb's not fair. She got stuck. Alright, let's not get caught up in that BS anymore. There should be a very big cannibal village around here somewhere. There's a lot of open area to build in out here though, too. Like up here. Looks like we're on our way to Dead Cat, which is the very big village. But yeah, there's a lot of relatively open area here. Some kind of flat over there. What are those guys? They're just running around screaming, I guess. Looks like there's a village over here we can hit first. These guys might have the numbers for us to want to see this. Oh yeah, there we go. There might actually be more of them than us for once. We'll take everybody off hold. Make sure they're all set to attack. We're still cutting them down pretty easy. We don't have much to fear from the cannibals, that's for sure. Did they have any loot worth a damn? What do you think, Longs? No, check their loot. They sure don't. What a load of garbage. Oh, there's more in here. Hi guys. Is there anyone in here worth saving? Looks like they don't have a lot of victims in this one. Still got everybody. Let's go check out Dead Cat. There's an ore drill here, that's interesting. Alright, let's hold. None of them seem to be too crazy. But I don't know, it's hard to see their numbers at night. I'm tempted to use our crossbows, but no one's really hurt. And we always can opt to back up and use crossbows in a little bit. Stork, can I talk to you? go guard my outpost. Get out of here. You're gonna die. We love having other people to guard the outpost. So we're trying to peer in here and get a rough idea of how many we're dealing with, but that's not working out, so we're just gonna see if we can bait a couple of them in here. Like bait them over to us. Well, it doesn't work if you shoot him dead, hot longs. I mean, good try, I guess. Looks like we're going for it. There's already, looks like the tech hunters got into it anyway. Kind of want to keep an eye on the numbers here for this one. There's a lot of red coming in there. Shrieking bandit, rah! Rah! No, don't go up in there. Stay here. I feel like the leader of the cannibals should be here somewhere, right? Cannibal Grand Wizard, there he is. Alright, so we scored the leader of the cannibals. See if he had any loot. Okay. A Masterwork KLR arm. Love that. Some good armor here and there. Rusty chain shirt. Nothing too special. Really low quality heavy armor. Got a captive's journal. There are a lot of them though. He has a shitty weapon. Yeah, not much in the way of loot here. Speed up this absolute devastation. Scratch is still good on food. So is Peace. Who has the bounty on him? Anybody. So we could turn him into the Shek Kingdom. That's what we'll do. We'll check out this outpost while we're here. We didn't even have to resort to using our crossbows there, which is nice. Spade's still holding on tight to that 47%. It's always in these more far out places that I see these big open flat areas and I really want to build here. when we do the like straight up conquering the world with our modded playthrough, that's something we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to build in these big open crazy places like this. I don't want any trouble with the Leviathans because they have a bad habit of popping people's limbs off like they're candy. The outpost we're headed towards is that way, but we see something over here. I want to see what that is. Then we'll go to the map, the spot marked on our map. It's just another outpost. Looks like the predatory things out here are going to be beak things. There's also probably a bunch of robots in here. Oh yeah, lots of robot spiders. Come on out here. No, don't just leave. Don't pile onto hot longs. Come on, you bastard spiders. There you go. Come out here. We'll keep hot longs at the back. No, nobody go in there. No, we don't need to chase beak things. Come on. Yes, there's one more robot spider. Okay, hot longs, what do we got here? Let's have everybody else wait outside. No, guys, out here. This isn't hard. Masterwork white plate jacket. Is this an armory? Yeah, it's an armory. Very low chance of anything useful. Bummer. Let's go check out the outpost we had marked on our map. Actually, let's attack these Garu because we're gonna need the food soon. Get off a pole. Attack all. Looks like we're going to be able to hang out here and have Soto do all sorts of food scrounging. Soto, get should be hauling it to these fires. It's just not. Maybe we'll go back to Hot Longs doing it. Camping fire. Oh no, we've just got all the meat already. No, see, there's some. Why won't they forage for animals out of here? Huh. Maybe it's just too weird of a place, I don't know. Leave those standing though. Oh, now you want to do it. Soto, what the hell's wrong with you? No, you still didn't do it. I think we're going to have to do a save and reload if we want to actually cook any food. We're not in dire need of it though, and we got most of the meat, so we'll go back around this way. Yeah, it seems like the pathing's all jacked up out here. Turn everybody's jobs off for now. This is an area where we can get some good science, but it's also kind of cheesy that the whole thing's underwater, so we're going to have most of the crew ready to shoot. We'll have Spade go check it out. That's going to take forever, so we'll have Hot Longs come out here too. Yeah, there's a bunch of robots already. Oh. We're still hitting them at this range. That's pretty good. That one's down. That bring everybody in. Have them hang out right here. Yeah, because there's still going to be a few of these. We want most of them out of the deep water so they can attack. Oh, this is an armory too. That's a bummer. Not gonna be much useful here. Well, dang. Get the hell out of this crap hole and head to the Iron Trail, huh? Soto doesn't seem to be able to do her dang job. Nor Hot Longs. We are gonna do a save and reload. I don't like doing it, but we're not save scumming, just looking at being able to actually path out. But it takes a second, wastes a little time. But so far we've captured a bounty that we can actually hand in to our home nation, which is what we consider the Shek. There we go. Soto is able to get moving now. Yeah, save and reload pretty much fixes all of those problems usually. So peace, we want you to stack up. You look pretty loaded though. Scratch, you look like you need more food. Hopefully these Leviathans don't get hostile from us being over here. They're walking up to us. We just want to take advantage of the food we get when we get it. We don't want to have to stop what we're doing to go looking for it. There we go. There are a ton of fights going on over here that... Ooh. Look at the sheer amount of Garu attacking, though. If we could pick a fight with just the Garu, that would be cool. It's so many, though. We'd never eat all that meat. Maybe we build out here just for the fact that all we would have to do is step outside and get some food if we were hungry. Look at all this huge area. This would be the place. What do we have if we prospect? We don't have a lot to build with. The copper's not there. The iron's barely there. Soto, you're cut off. No more job for you. I know you're trying here. Need you to stay with us. There's so many Garu. It's crazy. So this area here could be a great place to set up a base and just farm Garu. So what happens if we attack the Garu? Will the Leviathan jump in on it? That's the question. Guys, come back. Okay. Man, Soto is still all over it. We are going to take this chance to really load up on food. It let us fight some Garu too, but I don't think that we gain much benefit from that. Alright, that's enough hunting for now. We're going to move on to this area on the Iron Trail. Scope that place out, and then we'll probably close up the stream and head back home. Get some more crafting grinding in. See if I can get those beds built for everybody. They need somewhere to sleep. Took the barracks apart and then didn't rebuild it. At least they didn't get pissed off with us coming a little close like that. That could have been bad. Looks like a lot of the enemies are going to be robots. That makes sense, though. Some of them are inert, though. They're not all out to get us. We could pull another fast one, kind of like we did with the Holy Nation. Instead of dropping a bunch of animals on them, since their weapons are mostly katanas and bladed weapons like ours, we could drop a bunch of robots on the United Cities so they just don't do any damage to these things. That could be fun. Again, I don't want to use the same trick twice, but it could have been interesting. Let's see how many of these are actually inert on the island. Nope. Oh, oh, oh boy. Let's hurry up and get across the water. Spade's starting to get that toughness we wanted. That's good. These robot spiders work for us too. They're doing some damage and some AoE. It does seem like beak things are going to be some of our best training partners, though, if we're not wanting to risk going down. We don't want to lose our food on the spot. Plus, we can stay out there almost indefinitely because we'll be able to get food. So I think we'll hit the high bone fields, or we'll just go straight into going after the United Cities. Probably the latter. Actually taking these fights with the robot spiders in just melee is going to give us a lot of XP too. Look, 31% on Spade. And, you know, Spade's not going to get in on every fight, so just not going to progress perfectly. This is what I like to see. This lab number 2, that's where we can find some good science stuff usually. Question is, how lousy is it with robo spiders? Because if it's packed to the wall, it can be really dangerous. Doesn't look like there's that many. Where are they coming out? Over here? Okay. Guys, hold your position out here so that they'll come out here. We don't want to fight from inside if we don't have to. See, we've already got 2 people that got stuck. That's what's obnoxious about fighting in here. Batai, pick up Inu. We're gonna go out here and hold. Taking damage be damned. This is ridiculous. Now Gecko's stuck. Put him down. Hot longs, we don't want you going in until the robots are cleared. Dude. Can't you fuck all the way off? Fade's injured pretty badly, so we'll let Inu come in here and check it out. Get the spiders scooped up. Finished off, rather. Okay, we're good. Send up hot longs and start grabbing the loot. Excellent. Lots of ancient science books. That's what we want. We're gonna get back to town with darn near everything we needed. We just need a ton of science books. More AI cores than we even need, I think. I don't know that we can use these for anything. Okay, I need to give off some junk to Inu. Inu, you take this stuff that isn't science related. Even if it is science hunting related. We'll hold on to the books. The loot here is, I keep saying it, incredible. Grab the repair kits because that's just something that's super expensive that we're getting for basically free. So many AI cores. I don't even think we need them. I feel like, so I know the artifacts thing can spawn extra, but I feel like it's done a crazy job of spawning extra. We've gotten way more AI cores than we'll ever need. We haven't even gone to the Ashlands at all. We haven't had to do any imports where we reset shops or anything, so I don't know. I don't know. I guess we just got lucky. Like, crazy lucky, though. Because there's still labs we haven't hit yet that are going to have AI cores in them. I don't even know what I'm going to do with these. Okay, I don't even have room in my inventory for how many we're going to get. That's crazy. What an absolute haul. Is there anything down here? No. At the bottom floor, there's some barrels. Yep, there we go. Didn't want to miss that. Alright. Time to head home. So we're going to head back. And what I'm going to do is just keep working on making our chainmail. I am going to get everyone swapped over to their Edge 2 katanas. And we should have enough science gear to research everything. We've got well over 16 ancient science books. We'll buy the farming stuff we need. I'll roam around. And then that really only leaves us with, I might do some training against the beak things off screen if I just really can't stand sitting in the base any longer. But I'm also going to, as soon as we stream tonight, we're going to start taking down Holy Nation, the United City slave camps. So be looking for that this evening. or if you're just watching these in the series after the fact. This is just a mostly modless playthrough, nothing but the UI and map changes, a little bit of performance mods. But as far as the combat, same old spiel at the end of every stream it feels like. But if you were to play Kenshi without mods, you would be able to do everything I'm doing. That's kind of the point. We're still limited to 30 people total, 20 people in one squad, so we split it 15-15. We'll see you this afternoon to start trying to